topic of abortion and it being legal or illegal always remains in news, and the debate over the mother's right to their body and the right of the unborn child, the debate always remains relevant. And now in this respect, with regard to the abortion laws, France has made a landmark decision, and that is what we will be looking today. Hello and welcome to the in-depth series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha, and in today's episode we will be discussing about the topic of France, which has now become the only country in the world which has given a constitutional right to the abortion. So the abortion law is a constitutional right in France. Now, first the points of discussion. First we will be looking at the news, then France abortion scenario, what is the news all about, then what is India's scenario, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971 and 2021 amendment, and in the end prelims practice question. Topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, and it can also be important from paper 4, that is ethics, from paper 2, that is acts and laws. From exam perspective, you should be able to know about the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971 and 2021 and what is the difference between both of them and what is the present scenario. So let's begin. The news talks about France becomes the only country. It means that in the all over the globe, France is the only country to explicitly guarantee abortion as a constitutional right. Now, what is abortion? In a simple and a layman's term, if we talk about, then abortion is that when a female becomes pregnant, then due to some complications, and if the fetus or the baby is inside the womb, the female aborts the baby. So this is what abortion is. So abortion, the status of abortion all over the world is different. It is legal in some countries, it is illegal in some countries. But now France has become the only country to explicitly guarantee abortion as a constitutional right. Now that France has included abortion in the constitution, its constitution, so it has become a constitutional right. So the females or the women of France can now use it as a constitutional right. So let us first look at the map of France, as France is a European country and it is one of the biggest European countries in terms of size also, economy also, and it is one of the great powers of the world also. So this is France. France shares its land border with Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, Belgium, and it also shares its border with the Atlantic Ocean. So this is about the geography of France. And the French lawmakers on 4th of March has approved a bill to enshrine abortion rights in France constitution. So abortion rights are now in France constitution. So the right to abortion is a constitutional right in France now. And it is the only country to explicitly guarantee a woman's right to voluntarily terminate a pregnancy. Now terminating a pregnancy is voluntary. It means that the woman on her own choice can abort the pregnancy. Now it is explicitly being guaranteed in the constitution. Earlier the abortion was legal in France, but it was not a constitutional right. Legal status was there, but constitutional status was not there. But now the constitutional status has also been given. And this measure was approved in a 780 by 72 vote in the Palace of Versailles. So it is by a huge majority. And if we talk about from the respect of what happened in the United States of America, that the abortion rights were rolled back, so the French government or France took notice of it and it made the abortion right a constitutional right. So the United States of America Supreme Court officially reversed the Roe versus Wade, declaring that the constitutional right to abortion upheld for nearly a half century no longer exist. It means that the United States of America, the Supreme Court has said that the constitutional right to abortion does not upheld or is not there now. It was changed. Then the abortion enjoys wide support in France across most of the political spectrum and has been made legal since 1975. So legal status was there since 1975, but constitutional status has now been given in 2024 and it has become the only country to do so. And with this, the French constitution article 34 has been amended. And if we talk about the Yugoslavia, which got disintegrated in the early 1990s, so the country of the Yugoslavia also give support to abortion and those countries which got disintegrated from Yugoslavia also has a legal abortion status. And the constitution of Yugoslavia in around 1974 talks about a person is free to decide on having children, and this is what the countries which got disintegrated from Yugoslavia afterwards also follow the same rule. Now let's talk about the Indian scenario, because that is what is most important from the exam relevance. You should know that which country has recently become the first country to give a constitutional status to abortion. So that is France. And now coming back to the most relevant aspect from the UPSC exam perspective, both prelims and mains, and that is the Indian scenario. So if we talk about Indian scenario, then until 1960 abortion was considered illegal in India and it was a crime under section 312 of the Indian Penal Code. Now Indian Penal Code does not exist. In place of it, BNS, that is the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, has come, and the term and the imprisonment was around 3 years. And then a committee was set up, that is the Shanti Lal Shah committee, and on the recommendation of the Shanti Lal Shah committee, medical termination bill was introduced in the year 1971, and with regard to the recommendation of this committee, the Medical Termination Pregnancy Act 1971 was introduced. And what the MTP Act 1971 actually talked about was, it allowed pregnancy termination by a medical practitioner in 2 stages. So medical termination or pregnancy termination was allowed by the MTP Act 1971. So the 2 stages was that the single doctor's opinion was necessary for abortion up to 12 weeks. See, this I am talking with regard to 1971. Then 2021 the amendment came. So this is with regard to the 1971. So up to 12 weeks of pregnancy, single doctor's opinion was needed. And then pregnancy between 12 to 20 weeks old, the opinion of 2 doctors was required. Till 12 weeks, single doctor's opinion. 12 to 20 weeks pregnancy, double. 2 doctors was required. Now, to determine if the continuance of the pregnancy would involve a risk to the life of the pregnant woman or of grave injury to her physical or mental health, or if there is a substantial risk that if the child were born, it would suffer from such physical or mental abnormalities. So these were few of the conditions on the basis of which termination of pregnancy can be done. So that was with regard to the MTP Act 1971. Then came the amendment to the MTP Act 1971, and it was the MTP, that is the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2021. And with regard to this, many new things was included, and especially that the time period for the termination of pregnancy was increased from 20 weeks to 24 weeks. So the 2021 amendment allowed for abortions based on the advice of one doctor for pregnancies up to 20 weeks. So single doctor advice was increased to 20 weeks. Earlier 20 weeks, earlier single doctor advice was still 12 weeks, but now that was increased to 20 weeks. And opinion of 2 doctors for pregnancies between 20 and 24 weeks. And 2 doctors opinion was earlier limited to 20 weeks, but now it got extended from 20 to 24 weeks, and the time period for the termination of pregnancy was also increased from 20 to 24 weeks. Then pregnancies between 20 and 24 weeks, rules specified 7 categories of women, that is section B of the MTP Act. So the pregnancy was 20 and 24 weeks, and with regard to the pregnancies, the termination of pregnancies after 24 weeks, a medical board was to be constituted. So, the 7 categories of women who can opt for the termination of pregnancies are survivors of sexual assault or rape, then minors, change of marital status during the ongoing pregnancy, that is widowhood or divorce, women with physical disabilities, and then mentally ill women including mental retardation, fetal malformation, or women with pregnancy in humanitarian settings or disasters or emergencies may be declared by the government. So, these are the 7 cases on whose basis the termination of pregnancy can be opted for. And then there was one more provision in the 2021 amendment, and that is the failure of contraceptive. So, it allows unmarried women also to terminate a pregnancy in case of failure of the contraceptive method or device, and that was up to 20 weeks. So, unmarried women can also opt for this with regard to the failure of contraceptives. Then, setup of medical boards. All state and union territory governments will constitute a medical board, and this medical board will have specialists with regard to doctors or psychologists or many other people. So, if the pregnancy is more than 24 weeks and the termination of pregnancy the mother asks for it, then a medical board can be set up in that case. And the debate with regard to the termination of pregnancy always goes on from women's side and the child side, and this comes with regard to the ethical issues also, that women's health is compromised or the fetus has any kind of abnormalities. But what happens in the case when the fetus has also developed the heartbeat and it goes beyond 24 weeks? So, this ethical aspect or the moral aspect of the debate keeps on going. So, this was it, and in the end a prelims MCQ, and people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. Consider the following statements with regard to the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act in India. There are 3 statements. First, provision of setting up of the medical board is present in 1971 Act. Second, MTP Act 1971 deals with pregnancy above 24 weeks. And third, MTP Act 2021 increased the abortion age limit to 24 weeks. It is the question is asking that how many statements given are correct. So, that is only 1 statement, only 2 statements, only 3 statements, or none of the above. As we have discussed all 3 points in the video, so give me the answer in the comment section, and that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading, keep writing, and keep subscribing to the channel. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.